Every once in a while, we have to face some big expenses that can cause a lot of financial stress, especially if the expense is unexpected and you don't have enough to pay for it. In this video, we'll be sharing some ways that you can help budget your income and cut back on expenses to help cover big expenses. What is a budget? How does it help? In simple words, a budget is a record of your income, your expenses, and your savings. One prepares a budget to keep track of their expenses based on their income and to make a fruitful savings out of their income for future needs. Budgeting helps make sure that your expenses don't exploit your bank account and you save enough money for future expected and unexpected expenses. Once you start budgeting, you know where all your money goes, and you find ways to meet those expenses. Once you know how much you need to save daily, weekly, or monthly, you start finding ways to cut down on certain expenses and not make unnecessary expenditures frequently. How to budget. Most people plan on budgeting their expenses and savings every month, but do not know where to start. The process of making a budget is actually very simple. You want to categorize your budget into 3 sections: expenses, wants, and savings. Let's start off with the first section, expenses. Your expenses are of different types. They may be expected expenses or unexpected expenses. They may either be household expenses like food, rent, mortgage, or car expenses like fuel, repair, replacements, etc. You want to make sure that you're prepared for any type of expenditures coming your way, even if they're unexpected. In the beginning of the month, you will want to write down all of your expected expenses and how much of your income you're going to keep aside to pay for these expenses. This will keep you a track of how much you want to spend a month and not take from your bank account by surprise. You also want to keep part of your income aside for any unexpected expenses that may come in your way, like car repairs or unexpected rise in your utility bills, etc. In the next section, we have wants. There might be a sale coming up in your favorite store next month. You will want to spoil yourself with some new shoes or a new pair of jeans. Do you have enough to make these purchases while at the same time making sure you're not compromising on any important expenses? Every month, you'll want to make sure you keep aside a part of your income that you can use on yourself. It could be going out with your friends one evening or buying yourself that dress that you've been looking for every morning on your way to work. Whatever it may be, if you plan and save enough for it, you can treat yourself every once in a while without feeling guilty, or more importantly, putting a strain on your bank account. And for the last section, we have savings. Savings are part of your income that keep aside for future needs. Savings can also be 2 types: saving for expected and unexpected expenses, and emergency savings. Expected savings are for future goals like buying a new car or a house, paying for your dream college, going on vacation, etc. Most people do not understand the difference between unexpected expenses and emergency savings. How are they different? Unexpected expenses are known for unknown but possible expenses like medical emergencies or car-related issues, sudden house repairs, etc. The other type of saving, that is emergency saving, are for when you have no income flowing into your bank account. This may be for many reasons, like you may fall sick or get into an accident, which may lead you to being unable to work or maybe even losing your job. In such cases, you need to save money until you find another job. Saving up for both these expenses is very important, and they need to be saved for separately. It's okay if the amount you have left for saving each month is less in the beginning. As you get used to budgeting and knowing your expenses and how much you save, you'll find more ways to save up more each month. Types of budgets. In budgets, there are 3 types. Let's study them all in detail. Starting us off, we have weekly budgets. A weekly budget helps you keep track of all expenditures that you make in a week. This can be your daily cup of coffee, your expenditure on outside food, your grocery shopping, fuel if you travel by car or bus, or train expenses if you use public transport. Making a weekly budget makes sure that you won't spend more than you need in a week. The next type of budget is monthly budget. A monthly budget is for all those expenses which are due every month. For example, insurance registration, car loans, utilities, etc. are due at the end of every month. If your rent is due at the end of every month, you can divide how much you need in 4 parts. This way you know how much you need to save every week to pay for your rent at the end of each month. And lastly, we have annual budgets. Annual budgets is for your large expenses, vacations, medical bills, mortgages, etc. that you need to save up for each month to be able to pay for these yearly or every few months. Just a way you save up to cut back every month to pay your rent. You can save or cut back on certain expenses every month to make your due payment. If you don't save up for it beforehand, it can be a huge unexpected expense, which can make a huge dent on your bank account. Planning for expenses helps make sure you know how much you need to save each month before then, even if it's a small installments. But you might be asking, how do you stick to a budget and meet these goals? How do you make sure that you're not spending more than you are bringing in? It can be difficult to cut back on certain expenses and not overspend without realizing, and to break certain spending habits. Here are some tips to make sure that you cut back on certain purchases and do not spend more than you need to. Keep track of your expenses. Have a notebook dedicated to noting down how much you spend daily. At the start of every day, write down how much you spend on what and where. Slowly, you will start to realize that some of your purchases were unnecessary and could have been avoided. This helps you be mindful about spending and makes you give more thought and consideration before making a purchase. Dedicate some days to no spending. Every month, make yourself have some no spending days where you don't spend even a single dollar. You commit to making no expenses unless absolutely necessary. Instead of buying coffee from that cafe that day, you make coffee at home. Walk to work if possible. If not, take the bus or train. You can challenge yourself to see how many days you can go a month without spending. The more often you do it, the more conscious you will become about your daily spending habits. Who knows, at the end of the no spending day, you might decide to cut back on buying coffee forever. Create a pattern for saving. There are different types of patterns that you can follow, which might help you save more and get excited about saving. You can tell yourself to put a certain amount of dollars into a piggy bank every time you want expenses. For example, if you want to buy a $50 new carpet today, you did not need, but had to buy because you could not control yourself, you could put $20 into your piggy bank. This way, every time you feel like making an impulsive purchase, you can see if you have enough money to make another one and for the piggy bank. This can help control impulsive purchases. Another way to save is to make yourself put $2 that you might get in change into your piggy bank. Maybe put $2 every day into a piggy bank for a month, you will have saved $60. And finally, follow the 1 in, 1 out rule. The 1 in, 1 out rule helps you make sure you don't make any unnecessary purchases. Every time you buy something new, you have to remove something old. Buying a new t-shirt, donate an old t-shirt. You want to buy new heels, donate your old ones. Another option is to sell your pairs of heels that are in good condition. This way you're making the cost of your new heels lower. This helps you limit your purchases, declutter your house, and in some cases reduce the cost of new purchases. We have hoped that this video has helped you, so they can also learn how to budget their money, so don't miss out on any of our videos. Thanks for watching.